Mickey Meehan for UCCS Athletics. I'm here with head softball coach Ricki Rothbauer-Stubbs. Now, coach, you were in action this past weekend. It was over Sunday and Monday due to some complications, some schedule rearrangement. On the first day, you tallied 18 runs. You lost to West Texas A&M. They're third in the South Central. They walked away with a 12-4 victory. Comments on that game?
Yeah, I mean, we came out and took a lead early, and then just sort of tapered off. We were really strong on the offensive end, and then it dried up. And you can't have a day where you dry up offensively against West Texas because they're averaging, big runs and multiple home runs a game. So that's just something we've got to work on throughout the season of having more stamina on the offensive end to keep putting the ball in play. Especially when we come up with a lead, we got to just keep extending that lead throughout the game.
The second game of that day, you played Texas Permian Basin. You walked away with a 14-3 victory, so almost the exact opposite of what we talked about last week, where you had this bad second game, you had a stronger second game.
Yes, I mean, we came into game two. I think the kids had sort of woken up to the fact that, there's that saying that once is happenstance, twice is a coincidence, three times is a pattern. And so we had already talked about having this sort of lopsided win to loss between game one and game two. And so now we've established the coincidence, and we're trying to break that before it becomes a pattern, because right now we're just not 14 innings strong throughout the day yet. But when we are strong, we're hitting the ball extremely well, putting a ton of runs up on the board. So we're just wanting to do that more often throughout every game.
Moving forward, yesterday you played host Lubbock Christian. They walked away with a 10-0 victory. Comments on what you saw from your team there and what the difference was?
Yeah, day two we went in with much better focus in tough conditions. It was cold, it was cloudy, it was windy, and we're strong through about four, and then the wheels sort of fell off when we started getting into just a lack of stamina in that second game. And again, you can't do that against teams that are going to put up a lot of runs, and there's no holes in these lineups. You go down into some of the Texas schools, and every out is a tough out to earn, and they had some speed and some power throughout their lineup that just kept pouring it on late, and we had dried up again.
Second game of that day, you played West Texas A&M. You played a much better 9-8 this time. Comments on what you saw there?
It was a much better played game all the way around. I think at that point we were probably looking at a sustained 25-mile-an-hour wind with much bigger gusts throughout the day. So both teams struggled a little bit with just dealing with any ball hit in the air. But on the whole, we played that game very tough. And once we got down, any team has the ability to just sort of fold. And we kept fighting back, and then eventually ran out of time. But I think the big takeaway from that is our kids understand they're able to compete, and they know what it takes to compete with some of the top teams in the region. That's got to be an everyday commitment. It's got to be an every inning, every game commitment. And so that's what we're working on going forward. Hopefully with the chance to come out of the preseason with a winning record after this weekend. Another weekend that's going to be tough. Weather-wise is not looking great for us, but they know they can compete. It's just a question of getting them firing on all cylinders the whole time.
Well, Coach, it sounds like you guys have some things to work on, but you learned some things this weekend as you're heading in. You said preseason's wrapping up here shortly. We wish you the best of luck this next weekend. Thanks for coming and doing this. As always, thanks for tuning in, and go Mountain Lions.